Arsenal's long-running partnership with the Rwandan government is officially coming to an end, marking the conclusion of one of the most globally recognizable football tourism collaborations of the modern era. For nearly 10 years, the Gunners have carried the Visit Rwanda branding on their sleeves, becoming an essential part of Rwanda's international image-building efforts. What began as a bold, controversial initiative has since grown into one of the most ambitious tourism campaigns linked to a European football club. Now, with the agreement set to expire at the end of the current season, both sides face a new chapter, one filled with financial adjustments, strategic realignments, and reflections on what the partnership achieved. When the deal was first announced years ago, many doubted its value. Critics questioned how a small East African country could justify partnering with one of the world's most recognizable football brands. But as seasons passed, Rwanda gradually proved those doubts wrong. The country saw a significant rise in tourism, increased global visibility, and an enhanced international profile among travelers, investors, and media outlets. Arsenal, for their part, benefited from a reliable long-term partnership that brought consistency to their commercial structure. The branding became synonymous with the club's visual identity, visible not only in the Premier League but across Europe and global broadcasts. Rwanda had invested heavily in reshaping its global perception, telling stories of cultural richness, mounting guerrillas, hospitality, and economic progress. Arsenal offered them a global stage, and the campaign reached millions of viewers every week. It was a relationship that demonstrated how football could stretch beyond sport, connecting tourism, business, and international relations. Over time, the collaboration grew into one of the most recognizable sports marketing partnerships in the world. Yet, despite the benefits, Football Insider reports that Arsenal will lose at least £10 million in guaranteed income by choosing not to renew the contract. This is not a small figure, even for a club with extensive commercial operations. The financial impact is clear. Ending the agreement means stepping away from a dependable revenue stream that had supported the club through various cycles of success and transition. But Arsenal's decision does not come from a place of financial struggle. On the contrary, the club has strengthened its global influence through strong performances in domestic competitions and deep runs in European tournaments. Arteta's rebuild has made Arsenal one of the most attractive football brands once again. This success means that Arsenal now sits in a comfortable position when it comes to commercial negotiations. While the loss of £10 million is significant, the club is confident that new opportunities can easily replace or surpass that figure. Their current visibility, youthful squad, and competitive consistency make them appealing to corporate partners from all over the world. For many brands, appearing on Arsenal's shirt is not just advertising, it is global exposure across multiple markets, continents, and digital platforms. The end of the Visit Rwanda partnership therefore opens a door. Arsenal can now explore fresh territories and new types of agreements. Other countries with emerging tourism sectors may approach the club, eager to replicate Rwanda's success. Major global companies, especially those in technology, financial services, or sustainability, might also see an opening to associate their brand with a Premier League contender whose global fan base stretches across Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas. For Rwanda, the end of the deal is not a step backward but a natural transition. They have already achieved the global awareness they sought. The country has established its brand firmly on the international stage, supported by other partnerships in sports, hospitality, and business. The campaign with Arsenal served its purpose, and the visibility it created will continue benefiting Rwanda long after the branding disappears from the kit. For Arsenal, this moment marks the end of an era but also the start of a new commercial cycle. The club's strategy remains strong, with leadership confident that they can expand further into new markets while maintaining financial stability. It is a rare case where both parties walk away satisfied with what they gained, and ready for what comes next. As the final season of the collaboration unfolds, the familiar Visit Rwanda message will appear on Arsenal's jersey for the last time. It serves as a reminder of a partnership that began as an experiment and became a global success story, shaping perceptions, generating revenue, and reinforcing football's power to connect continents. Both sides now move forward, carrying lessons, confidence, and the expectation that even greater opportunities are just ahead. Kobbie Mainoo, one of Manchester United's most gifted academy products in recent years, has found himself at the centre of a transfer storm that nobody saw coming. Once viewed as the next long-term heartbeat of United's midfield, the 20-year-old is now edging closer to the exit door, and Arsenal have suddenly been told they may be the perfect home for him. It's a story that has taken fans from disbelief to excitement, from confusion to pure anticipation, because the situation around Mainoo is far more dramatic than anyone expected. After bursting onto the scene during the 2023-24 season and winning the trust of Erik ten Hag, Mainoo looked destined to become a cornerstone at Old Trafford. Calm in possession, mature beyond his years, and capable of controlling midfields with a mixture of intelligence and bravery, he stood out as one of United's brightest young stars. It felt like the beginning of a long, historic career at the club. But football moves fast, and a few months of change have completely flipped Mainoo's path. This season, Manchester United's new manager Ruben Amorim has implemented his preferred midfield duo, relying heavily on the experience of Casemiro and the influence of Bruno Fernandes. That decision pushed Mainoo drastically down the pecking order. He has played only 138 minutes in the entire campaign, a shocking fall for a player who just 1 year ago was being compared to some of England's best young midfielders. The message became clear to Mainoo: he was no longer central to the club's plans. And that realization hit hard. Sources close to the midfielder revealed that over the summer, Mainoo expressed a desire to leave Old Trafford. He didn't feel secure, he didn't feel valued, and he didn't feel he was being given the responsibility that once allowed him to grow. Even more dramatic is the fact that he has now delayed all contract talks, despite being tied to the club until 2027. For the first time, Kobbie Mainoo is seriously open to leaving on loan, and perhaps even permanently in the long term. And that is where Arsenal enter the picture. Former Arsenal midfielder Stefan Schwarz publicly stated that if Mainoo is to leave Manchester United, the Emirates is the ideal destination. He insisted that Arsenal have created one of the best environments in Europe for young players to develop. Mikel Arteta has built a culture around youth, giving responsibility to players not based on age, but on readiness and talent. It's an environment where stars are forged, where potential turns into performance, and where players are trusted to grow without fear. Schwarz pointed to Bukayo Saka as the prime example. The young winger was polished into one of the world's most influential forwards under Arteta. Then there's Ethan Nwaneri, who rose from an academy talent into a serious rotation player, scoring 9 goals and providing 2 assists in his breakout season. And recently, Max Daumann made history when Arteta brought him on in a Champions League match at just 15 years old. Arsenal have proven time and time again that youth is not just accepted, it is celebrated, nurtured, and elevated. So the thought of Kobbie Mainoo in an environment like that is electrifying many fans. His style of play fits perfectly with Arteta's approach. Calm in tight spaces, confident under pressure, capable of dictating tempo and carrying responsibility, he is exactly the type of midfielder Arteta trusts. And in London, he would not be competing with players twice his age for minutes. He would be part of a growing core of young talent, integrated into a system designed to make him flourish. Mainoo's calmness and maturity are traits Arsenal value highly. Yet at United, both qualities have gone to waste this season. Under Amorim, his responsibility has been stripped away.